Alright, welcome everybody back to my channel. This is going to be a second follow-up video to the last one that I posted. This is just going to be a tutorial on how to make the Shrek theme song using the music blocks here in Fortnite. Because I saw so many people ask for it in my last video, so I want to make sure you guys know how to do this properly. So the first thing you want to do, you want to select the touchpad. Make sure you're on creative at the top. Select L1 or I want to go to creative, and then press R2 or L2 to go to prefabs at the top, and then you want to scroll down until you find this section right here where it says the music block gallery. This will give you all your notes that you'll need to create this. So you just want to equip that. Then you'll press triangle to bring it out, hold R2, and then make sure you have enough space to place down the blocks. Throw it down, and it'll give you all the selection of blocks right here. So we're going to be focusing right now only on the green blocks for right now. We're going to take it one step at a time. We're going to do the green ones, then the orange ones, and then the purple ones. So right now we're going to focus on the green ones, which are going to be the piano keys. All right, so it's going to be fairly simple. I would say the easiest thing to do to just make this as easy as possible, take out a piece of paper or something, write this down. It'll make your life so much easier, and it'll take way less time than it took me to actually make this. So we're going to go by beats and spaces, right? So bring out your phone and your creative. You're gonna press R2 on one of the blocks, right there. It selects each and every block individually. Press R2 to select one, and then you'll be able to place that down if you press R2 again. And then if you want to delete it, just press circle so that you're not holding anything, and then just press left on the D-pad to delete that. Alright, so when you select the block, it's going to bring up a separate menu on the left side of the screen. Now this menu is kind of important. I would say the most important thing that you would see are the drops. You want to make sure you have drops all. You want to have drops on. Because if you just place a block in midair, it's going to stay there. And if you have drops on, it's going to place a block in midair. It's going to drop straight to the ground. You want to make sure that you have that enabled. It's going to make it easier. You're just going to keep everything on the ground. So select the block again, have that menu pop up. Make sure drops are on. Your grid snap. This is kind of important. This is the most important thing on the menu right now. So grid snap, basically, you want to keep that on 16 because it'll make putting all the blocks down nice and neat. It'll keep everything, in line. It won't make anything crooked or anything. It'll keep it all nice and neat so that it's just, a straight line of music blocks. And then collision at the bottom is going to be holding left on the D-pad. You want to have collision on. It really doesn't make a difference in this case because we're not going to be colliding any of the notes right now. But basically, just collision just means you can place the blocks inside of other blocks, so that it'll be just so it'll look something like that instead of having it off. It'll place it right on top. Having it off will place it right on top, right like that. But again, it doesn't really matter if you have it on or off. But I would prefer to have on. All right, so now we're going to count basically each row of blocks. So again, I would recommend writing this down just to make it a lot easier. So we're gonna each block is gonna be its own beat, right? So we're gonna go by each block. So it's gonna be one. So from the start, it's one block, a space. So that'll be a beat. So it's one beat and then two beat. The second beat is a space. So a block, a space, which is the size of a block, and then three blocks, three note blocks, another space, another four blocks, another space, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 blocks, another space, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blocks, another space, and then another block. All right, and then this is going to be where it gets a little bit confusing. This is what I said about you have the menu on the left, the grid snap when you're holding something. Make sure that's on 16 because you're going to need it for this next part, right? So the space in between here, this is a lot bigger, and for now I'll just show you right here. It's one block, two block, three block, 4 blocks wide, but you still have this random small space in the middle. That's why you need to have the 16 on your grid snap on the left, because it allows you to make that small space. It keeps everything on a grid. And so it keeps a 1/16 of an inch between this block and that block. And that just makes it, that's just how it's supposed to be. That's how I created it, and that's how I wanted it to be. So I'd say just, make sure you have 16 on your grid snap so you can create this one space because that's going to be important. So it's 4 blocks of space and then another 16th of a space between that and that block. Alright, so I'm just going to delete all that because we don't need that. That's not supposed to be. So it's be that, the 4 spaces, and the 16th of a space right there. And after that, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 blocks wide, and then another blank space. And now here, I just ran out of room, so I started like in the middle of the map, and I couldn't go beyond, that area with music blocks for some reason. So I had to start turning and go in that direction. But these music blocks that I'm pointing to right here are all going to be like one line. So that corner is not supposed to be like a space. It's just where I'm supposed to turn. So it's just going to be all one group. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 blocks. And it's not going to, that's not a space. Because if you listen to it, you're just walking through it. And then the space, right? And it's supposed to be, all in one thing. Because you just, you keep going. You take a space and then you just keep going. It doesn't sound right. It's not supposed to be a space there. So this is all just one group of note blocks for the green. And then you're going to have another space of a block there. And you're going to have 1, 2, 3. Another 3 blocks right there. A space. 1, 2, 3 blocks. A space. 1 block. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to be 4 total blocks. Right in the middle. It's 4 whole blocks. There's no 16th of an inch of a space between that, just 4 whole blocks between that, right? So it's 4 blocks of space, exactly, and then 1 more block at the end there. So that's going to be the entire of the green blocks. And now we're going to go through the notes of what the green blocks are supposed to be. But it's fairly simple to figure out, but also I'll tell you the notes, and I know you guys will be able to figure out because I'm going to play it for you again, and you'll be able to hear it, no problem. So the first note at the beginning, it's going to be an E. There's the space, but then the next 3 are going to be B, G sharp. That's G sharp. So to make the note a sharp, it's obviously, you're going to see at the top on the right side, there's going to be what looks like the hashtag symbol, and that's just considered to be a sharp symbol when talking about music and everything. So it's going to be, the next 3 are going to be B, G sharp, and then another G sharp. And then it's going to be a space, an F sharp, an E, another E, and then an A. And you're going to have a space, and then G sharp, it's going to be G sharp, F sharp, and then E. And you have another space, an E, a B, a G sharp, an F sharp, another F sharp, an E, and a C sharp. All right, and you have another space, and then the next note is going to be a B. And you're going to have the 4 notes, the 4 note space, and then the 16th of a space is right there. And then the next one's going to be an E, another E, a B, a G sharp, another G sharp, an F sharp, an E, and an A. So it's pretty simple just to create the entire thing. Basically, all the notes just kind of repeat each other. It's not too complicated to create. There's going to be the space after the A, and then it's going to be G sharp, F sharp, E, and a B. A space, G sharp, F sharp, space, E, F sharp, space, C sharp, space, and an E. So 4 spaces and then the E at the end. Now and again, it's fairly simple. You're not colliding any of the note blocks. They're all just going to be one note block apart from each other. So it's fairly simple just to put it down. It's not going to be hard to figure out how to put it down. The only thing that's going to be an issue, that's going to be a little bit complicated, is that 16th of a space right there on the 4 spaces and then the 16th of a space. That's the only time it's going to be different. But for the most part, it's all fairly simple. All right, and that's just going to be all the green notes. That's the piano notes right there. So now we're just going to work on our bass notes. That's going to be the orange ones. All right, so we're going to work on this row right here, the orange ones. So these ones are going to be just as easier. It's going to be a lot more simpler. These ones are completely repeat when it comes to beat. So we're going to look at it like this. So it's going to be from the start, start where the green one is. That's 1 beat. So this is 1 beat, 2 beat, 3 beats. So the space counts as a beat. So it's 1, 2, 3. So on the third, so it's 1, 2, 3, and then on the third beat, you're gonna have a bass note right there. So make sure you write that down. I'll just make sure you like put it down. So it's 1, 2, 3, bass note. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So on the third and 4 after this bass note, so 1, 2, 3, 4. On the third and 4, you're gonna have bass notes, and after that, you're gonna count again. 1, 2, 3. You're gonna have another 2 bass notes, and after that, 1, 2, 3, 2 bass notes, and it just kind of repeats. So 1, 2, 3. There's another 2. 1, 2, 3, and another 2. 1, 2, 3, another 2. 1, 2, 3, and then another 2. And then you have, this is where the spaces are. So the 1, 2, 3, 4 notes block spaces. The 16th right there, and then it's going to be after, so after these two, it's going to be 1/16 of a space, 2, 3, 4, and on the fourth one, you're going to have one bass note right there, and then 1, 2, 3, another 2, and then it just kind of keeps going like that. 1, 2, 3, another 2, 1, 2, 3, and then you have those two that are just kind of suspended right there. I made it a little bit weird for some reason, but it's the same thing. After that, 1, 2, 3, and then you have another 2. And then 1, 2, 3, another 2, 1, 2, 3, another 2, 1, 2, 3, another 2, and then 1, 2, and then you have the last 2 bass notes right there. And so now we're going to go over which notes are going to be for each bass note. So for the first one, it's going to be E. For the next 2, it's going to be an A sharp and a B. For the next one, it's going to be a C sharp and an F. For the next 2, it's going to be a G and an A. For the next 2, it's A sharp and E. For the next 2, it's A sharp and B. For the next 2, it's C sharp and an F. For the next, it's a G and an A. For the next one, it's an E. For the next 2, it's A sharp and a B. For the next 2, it's C sharp and an F. For the next 2, it's a G and an A. For the next 2, it is A sharp and an F and an E. I'm sorry. The next 2 are A sharp and B. The next 2 are C sharp and an F. And then the last 2 are G and an A. And that's all your bass notes. Again, fairly simple. It just follows a pattern of 1, 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3 spaces, 1, 2, and it just continues. That's fairly simple. All right, next we're going to focus on the purple notes, which are basically going to give us just like our beat, like those are like that. These ones are a lot more simpler. This one you only have to worry about one note, and it's only going to be the C sharp. We're only working with C sharp right now. It's going to be for all of the purple notes, across. And I made it so that I had 2 notes per beat, just so that it's a lot louder and more, I guess, like audible. Because in the regular song, these 2 notes would actually be a guitar strum, but you can't really simulate a guitar in this game. So I thought that these 2 were actually the best to make that. So you're gonna be working with C sharp only. All right, and the same thing like how we came up with the bass notes. We're gonna do the same thing by beats. So it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on the 5th one, you're gonna put 2 of these right here. It's gonna be you're gonna be 2 blocks of the C sharp. And now to get it so that it's like suspended in midair and like kind of turned, inward like that, you're gonna select, one of the notes, place it down. That's the bottom, and then you're gonna want to hold it above it, and make sure on the left side we have drops are on. Make sure you turn that off for this part so that you can keep it suspended in midair. Alright, so select it. Right, make sure your rotation axis is on pitch for this, and make sure your drops are off so that it keeps suspended in midair. And you're going to press R1 to just rotate it around, and just make sure that it's like, you just keep it right on top of it, moves it forward and backwards, and you can just select it, and then it keeps it suspended in midair. Now, obviously, when you run past it, it'll activate both of them, but this one's just backwards, so it's not activating. It'll just look like that. So like, make sure that when you're running past it, each of the notes are faced towards you, so that you can see like what note it is, because that's what activates it. Like that's like the right side, that's the right side to see, how it activates. Like if you run behind it, it won't activate. Like you need to see what the notes are in order for it to activate. Right, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. On the 5th beat, it's going to be 2 of them, and then after that, it's 1, 2, 3, and then on the 3rd, it's going to be another 2 next to each other, and after that, it's 1, 2, 3, and then on the 4th, it's going to be another one, then 1, 2, 3, it's going to be another pair, and then after that, it's 1, 2. On the 2nd one, it's going to be the 2 beats, and then 1, 2, 3 is another 2. 1, 2, 3, and 4 is going to be, right here, the next 2 selected. 1, 2, 3, 4. On the 4th one, there's going to be another beat. And now this one's a little bit weird. I gotta explain this, guy. I gotta explain this to you, guys, again. So normally there's the 4 and then the 16th space right there. Again, make sure you have grid snap on 16. So normally, if you have 4 blocks right there, 3, 4, you would have that space. But for the purple blocks, you want to make sure that it's connected. There's no space over here. Like make sure that it's overlapping that space. So that's connected to the E. But that's only for the purple space right there. It's gonna have that beat, and then after that, it's 1, 2, and then another beat. Then 1, 2, 3. You're gonna have another, and then 1, 2, 3, and you have another pair of 2. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. On the 4th one, you have another pair. And then 1, 2, 3 is another pair, and then another 1, 2. After that is another pair. 1, 2, 3 is another pair. 1, 2, 3 is another pair of 2. 1, 2, 3 is gonna be another pair. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that is it. And again, for these note blocks, you're only working with C#, and you're just going to make it so that it's one horizontal and one just kind of leaning over it up top, so that when you run through it, it activates both of them at the same time. And I would say when you do each of the note blocks, like when you do the green blocks, separately, when you do them first, try not to do everything all at once. Do the green blocks all first. Then do the orange blocks after that, and then just do all the purple ones after that. And so after you do each section, just make sure everything sounds good. So once you do the green ones, just go through it, make sure it sounds good. If it doesn't sound good, go back to the video and just make sure that everything sounds good. Again, then you do, after the green blocks sound good, do the orange ones, go through it again, make sure it sounds good. After that happens, purple blocks, and so on and so forth. And then after everything is put together, it just should sound like this. Right, and after that, that's where I stopped, because in my video, like I stopped and played like the actual song, but it was like all ear rape and everything. I could have gone forward, but I tried doing it. It just sounded a little bit weird personally to me. But if you guys want, there's, you could continue on, just see how it goes. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's fairly simple. Shouldn't take too long for you guys to do, as long as you follow everything that I just shown. Just, make sure you guys pay attention to it. And that's pretty much it, really. Like, you guys should be able to do this no problem. Alright, and I'll see you guys in the next video.